Hi there, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hersh, and your host, Avi Meyers.
Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine. Thank you, Marty. You're the man. Obviously, I didn't get there. No haircut. Want to thank Sonny Hersh, my entire technical crew. Want to let everybody know that this is an open forum for the community right now, especially because there's no elections that quick. So you know what? If there's any community group, you know whether it's whether I've taken a punch at you guys or not, or liked you or whatever, I just want to let everybody know that this is an open forum right now. Like if people from the North Side Alliance want to come on, or the West Rogers Park Community Council.
How about the Albany Park Group? They're very busy in West Rogers.
Yeah, they're very busy in West Rogers Park. You know what? And by the way, I want to tell you, I've invited all these people on the show, and I think if they're interested really in talking to the public, they have an open forum. Especially, we don't even have a community newspaper anymore. Not that we really had one the last couple of years either. But
well, they're located in Oak Park. What did you expect?
That's a big part of the problem. That's true. Even my friend Bob Seidenberg, who is the city editor of the Evanston Review, I mean, he works out of Glenview. They don't even have the office in Evanston anymore. Well, newspapers are not in good shape in general, but I got to say, when it comes to reporters, you know, we had a number of good reporters over the years. I mean, I liked Marcella. You know, I thought Angela Caputo was real good. Jack Best was a good editor. You know, it'd be great to have somebody like Bob Seidenberg covering us here. He's just terrific. He's very knowledgeable, all the rest of it. But you know what? So anyway, the point is, if you guys got something going in the neighborhood, you want to come on, you've got an open forum to talk about, you know, to let people know you got whatever you got, and we'll go from there. One thing I do want to say that I really should have mentioned last time is I did want to express my condolences to the family of Vicky Sugahara, who of course was a lady that made all the appointments for all the years for you being on the show, and it was a pleasure to work with her, and we're going to miss you and thank you very much, and for I guess all the good stuff. There is a lot of stuff going on, more stuff than we're going to have a half an hour for. But
would you like me? In my spare time, I do hair trimming. Would you like me to give you a trim?
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, if Marty's not here, I'll be happy to fill in for Marty.
No, Marty. I was supposed to see Marty yesterday, as a matter of fact, but I guess I got green to the gills on St. Patrick's Day, so it didn't quite work. Did you
really?
Yeah.
Brian Doherty showed up late for the council meeting.
That's
what you do. That's what happens when you have the council meeting the day after St. Patrick's Day.
Well, Daley was in the White House yesterday, wasn't he? Or?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
But he came in time.
So he might have been as green to the gills as that pond, but he made it back to Chicago.
I don't think he was in too good shape today, though.
And anything interesting? Anything interesting happened in City Council today, especially in relation to CANTV, maybe?
Yes, we passed it. 38 to 10. 10 votes against my substitute ordinance. Ken was counseling people to vote against it. Vote passed.
And by the way, so your ordinance fully funded. I mean, in other words, the 1% that's supposed to go?
Absolutely, went to Ken.
So even though you've been the champion of Ken the whole time and all that, they actually...
I was the champion of access television before Ken existed. And I'm still the champion of access television. I mean, sometimes, like my good friend Sonny says, they bite the hand that feeds them.
Yeah, that can happen. I remember this when I had a problem. I mean, some of there was a problem with some advertising people thought were improper, and they asked me to approach you. And I mean, when it comes to freedom of speech, you're very solid on that. There's no question about it.
Well, that's the reason that I have been a supporter of access television, being one of the two remaining members of the original cable committee, and I personally championed access TV in the original cable committee. And of course, Ken didn't come on the scene till 3 years after we adopted the cable ordinance. Sometimes people get to the point where they think they're the supreme authority, and they're not the supreme authority. that we had a language difference. I let them write the ordinance originally, but in order to make a settlement with the city, we adopted a substitute. The substitute sets the model that we will use in the event anybody either switches to or a new state franchise is issued to a new party. If a new state franchise is issued, they still must come back to the city council for authority to split to give the authority for splitting the fees for the city and for the access, or what we call it PEG, meaning public access, education, and government. The people at CAN knew this, and yet they insisted that we had to take care of everything in the future. Well, we don't know what's going to be in the future, but in the meantime, the substitute ordinance provided the model: 5% for the city, 1% for CAN. And CAN was specifically stated to be the access provider. No, they wanted everything in the future to say that. Well, you don't provide for everything in the future. We had the model for the future, which was the AT&T agreement.
And in the meantime, also, they're getting all the money they're supposed to get.
All the money they can get. All access can get is 1%.
Yeah.
PEG can only get 1%.
And
so I gave it all to CAN. Originally, the city didn't want to give them the full 1%.
they wanted to give them 0.5%.
That is correct.
Yeah,
So I stood my ground, fought for them to get the full 1%, and then they kicked me in the butt. And they went against my ordinance. So that's what you get for going to bat for them.
Not nice. Not nice at all.
Well, that's what happened. And that is the story of what occurred at the committee meeting on Monday and occurred at the council meeting today.
And you know what? That's one of the reasons I didn't want to go down there. First of all, I did talk to you last week, and when you said everything's settled and they're going to get all their money, but did they still try to rally the troops and get a whole bunch of people to go downtown?
Oh, yes.
Were there a lot of people there?
On Monday for the committee meeting, yes. They brought in a busload of people. And they had 50 witnesses testify against my substitute.
Wow.
And the only one who testified for my substitute was me. And needless to say, my substitute passed.
38-10.
No, my substitute passed at the committee meeting.
Right.
And it was actually 50-1, but the one passed over to 50.
Okay.
And today, the vote of the council members was 38 for the substitute, 10 against the substitute. I think they don't understand that my colleagues in the council, when it comes to access television, look to me for guidance. And apparently the people in authority at CAN don't understand this. Hopefully in the future they will.
I hope so. There's a lot of, listen, there are, I've never really criticized CAN anywhere near as much as I should, because of the fact of the matter is that they always have been in a struggle.
Well, one of the problems I had with some of my colleagues is a lot of my colleagues have shows on CAN, and they're afraid that in retribution, CAN will cancel their shows. So some of my colleagues voted against me in fear of retribution from the management of CAN.
So people like Tony Preckwinkle, for instance, or
yeah, Tony came up and told me that right out front.
Except the whole idea behind public access is you're not supposed to be able to can any of this stuff.
So did Walter.
The second ward alderman, first ward.
27th ward.
Right. I know who you're talking about.
But I convinced them that that there won't be any retribution. But in the meantime, that's not the point. The point is they shouldn't be doing this. That they attacked their greatest supporter, and they shouldn't attack their greatest supporter.
Yeah, the thing that bothers, there's actually one thing I'm not going to mention on air, But the thing is, the thing that bothers me the most about CAN in general is that the idea is that you're supposed to, it's like us people, anybody out there who wants to do a show can do a show, get it on the air. That's fine. But they send out their own film crews and do things, and the amount of hateful propaganda, they'll send out crews to film like these revolutionary socialist party things, condemning Israel like there's no tomorrow.
They did that just last week.
Yeah.
I watched that too.
I watched it. It was
there was
horrible.
no reason for them to put that on the air. I mean,
and
if in fact, I've always given them, I said, look, anybody who films it and delivers it to you, you should put it on the air. But why go solicit? And
they're the ones soliciting. They actually, when you see the community partners, that means that they're the ones who made the editorial decision to go put that on the air.
I mean, and they knew it was controversial. They knew it. They knew they were going to hurt. That was hurtful, and yet they went out and solicited it.
Yeah, not to mention a bunch of lies. And I've never seen anything pro-Israel that they've ever gone out to do.
There must be some people in the state that have something to say about it.
No, it's one thing for the producers to produce things, people like Rabbi Doug or myself. It's another thing for them to go out and be looking for those kind of events.
Yeah, well, there's no question that they went out and that particular show that you're talking about that was on a Sunday afternoon. I happened to. Just by chance, I happened to watch that, and the particular woman that was talking was a paid propagandist.
Yeah, that's correct.
No question about it.
And the other people were so off the wall. I mean, it wasn't even a good lie. It was so absurd. It wasn't even funny. Anyway,
what else is happening?
Okay, well, you know what? First of all, I want to thank Alan Crown's the guy that tipped me off about that show.
Yeah, well, I happen to have watched it. I talked to Alan about it.
Yeah. So, okay, economically, I assume that anybody.
By the way, the answer to that was that you say no pro-Israel stuff. But the answer to that is very simple. The pro-Israel group should be filming stuff and putting it on. I mean, CAN won't turn it down. I mean, if you got something to say, go ahead and say it. That's what Access is for. If you got something to say it.
No, that's right. But that's my whole point. The thing is that people, the citizens of Chicago, are the ones should be doing this. And the fact of the matter is, CANTV should not be out there soliciting. If people turn in the shows, they turn in the shows.
That's correct.
And if they don't turn in the shows, I mean, look, there's enough things. They need money, but they've got to go buy extra equipment and manpower and all the rest of it and film these things.
Well, in any event, if people have something to say, CAN will assist them in saying it. So if people got something to say, that's the whole reason for Access, and that's what Access is for.
By the way, do you know that people like Sonny and I, who were officially called users there, although I hate that word, we're no longer able to vote for or run for things like the board of directors there?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's, because
you're a user?
Yeah. I mean, basically they're handpicked. But you're not able to run. The fact is, one of the guys made some trouble for Barbara, and that was pretty much the end of users being on the board.
Well, you should tell who Barbara. But that's the executive director.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, listen. The fact is, she does work to keep the thing alive, but there's doesn't mean everything she does is right. I give her a lot of credit for fighting a good fight. I don't like what she did with you. Not at all.
Okay.
You know what?
You asked me if anything is being built.
Yeah.
The only thing being built, of course, is the garage at Devon and Rockwell, and they just poured the first floor, and it's a pleasure to see that, which means that it'll really start to move as soon as the weather. It's amazing that they were able to get this far in the type of weather that we're coming out of during the winter.
It was a brutal winter.
Yes, and they actually poured the concrete floor, and which means they're also pouring the columns for the second floor already, and actually they poured half the first floor because they do it in sections. And remember how big the garage is.
Yeah.
And I was amazed. I watched the system. It's amazing. And this big arm with the concrete being like funneled into it, and the big arm goes around them, and the men direct the funnel, how it's funneled in and then funneled out.
I actually, when
I wouldn't want to
going
get
on,
in the
I walk
way
around
of it
there.
because otherwise you get buried in the concrete. But it was amazing to watch it. Take one next time you go walking by. When you go on one of your walks, walk by there because we passed there today, and it looks like they're starting to frame on the front part, the divan part. This is the rear part has been poured already. First they put up the steel, and then they put plywood over the steel, and then they pour the concrete on top of that.
Yeah.
So they put sheeting and rebar, and it's construction is interesting to watch anyway. You get to be a junior contractor. But
it was fun. I actually did walk by there last week, and I was watching some of it.
And
it's a pleasure to see anything being built these days.
Yeah, well, with the economic conditions we're facing.
I feel bad. Two stores right next to the parking garage. Or I know one restaurant's going to reopen. One grocery store closed down on Devon. We never used to see businesses close there. And they had to have been hurt by the lack of parking.
Well, we were told in the case of the grocery store, he's been way behind in his rent, and the owner of the building was letting him go for a long time, so it just came to a point where he couldn't let him go any further. So you got to. There are so many successful businesses. We've had these programs where the city has supplied money for fix up of various businesses on Devon. It's called SPIF. Small business where investment, I guess, where they do small. You can do up to about $100,000 worth of repairs to your business, and a lot of businesses have taken advantage of these. I guess they're sort of loans.
Yeah.
And we've had businesses fix up their properties at low interest rates, and they've made some of those businesses look really beautiful. And we introduced today in the council for the Toohey Avenue SPIF for the Toohey Avenue TIF. The TIF makes this possible for us to do these things. Right now I'm studying increasing the Devon TIF to take in that half block. Well, it's a block from the Devon to Arthur, in the hopes of using the TIF funding to either increase the size or tear down the old library and build a new library.
Oh, that would be nice.
So,
we definitely are in need of a new library.
I've got to have TIF funding. I have to have TIF funding to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm right now. I've got the people working on that. Of course, this month
any chance of getting a shovel-ready project from the White House for something like that?
Yes.
Well, that'd be nice.
Most of the shovel-ready projects are the reconstruction of streets, like Lincoln Avenue is one of the shovel-ready projects.
That'd be good.
And the Lincoln Avenue will be completely reconstructed from Jersey to Devon.
Yeah.
Needless to say, the worst pothole street in the city, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. But that street will be completely reconstructed. The school is starting this month, and will be completed, as I've said on this program before, and be ready. It'll be completed by May of 2010. It'll be open in fall of 2010.
Yeah.
We just passed.
It doesn't sound like there's going to be any other entranceway other than the Whipple one.
haven't met with the only entrance. First of all, if the people are looking for an entranceway for the public, there can't be an entranceway because you can't go over the school property with the public cars. They don't understand. I don't think these people on Whipple understand the liability possibilities. The school is not going to open themselves up to liability, nor will the Public Building Commission, or for that matter, in order to get to the people's gas property, you got to go over to school property, and there's too much danger. Not only danger for liability, but how about the kids? The kids are going to be in that property. Are you going to take a chance on a kid being hit by a car? This is not a public way. The kids are going to be over there. The kids are going to be playing over there. I don't want a kid hit by a car.
I got you. I wanted to, so the school will be open the fall of 2010?
School will be open the fall of 2010. Yesterday we also heard a special zoning committee hearing on sort of like a companion school down on South Shore Drive, which looks very much like the same school on Whipple. And it was interesting because you had complainants coming in, and guess where the complainants live? Around the school. Not in my backyard again.
Okay.
And
we're on South Shore Drive. That's my old neighborhood.
7200.
That really is real close to my old neighborhood.
It's the I forgot the name.
That's just south of the South Shore Country Club, or what used to be. Now
there's a school on the west side of the street, and they're going to move it to the east side of the street.
Yeah.
And the complaint primarily was, well, that's a park. Well, the principal of the school says that's not really a park. There's no children playing in that park. The only ones in that park are drug dealers.
Yeah, that is, by the way, I don't miss the neighborhood because when I was looking up the different beats, through ClearPath, I found that the old beat I was in, and by the way, the one next door where Mike Moses, my friend, lived in, where he had the two most largest number of violent crimes over the last couple of years.
What was the name of the school?
Well, the school that used to be there was a Myra Bradwell.
No, that's not.
That was a grammar school. That was on.
It's an elementary school. It's on South Shore Drive.
That was on Coles, but I mean, we're talking a million years ago.
This is on South Shore Drive.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a pretty old school.
The truth is, I didn't go to public school over there, so.
Oh, this is public school.
Yeah. No, I was at Akiba Jewish Day School, which popular today.
Yeah. No, this is a public school, and this was the same school which we had gone to for the public announcements back in 2006.
Yeah.
When the mayor made the announcement regarding the building of the school for Clinton Boone.
Oh, okay.
So I remembered it when we started the hearing. This school is being replaced by the school on the east side of the street. Now the school, according to the testimony we heard yesterday, is a football field away from the lake.
Okay.
So that was the complaint from the people who lived across the street, directly next door. Oh, it's gonna block the lake and blah 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 blah. Again, as I said before, not in my backyard. Mm. So they didn't want the school next door to them. But in the meantime, the Plan Commission had approved this previously, and the reason the Plan Commission approved it is because it was under the Lakefront Protection Ordinance. Now, that was not before us yesterday. The Lakefront Protection Ordinance is only heard by the Plan Commission, and what we were hearing was the plan development. And we approved the plan development, which is a zoning issue. And incidentally, the Plan Commission approved the school unanimously. The zoning committee approved it unanimously.
Okay.
So
it's a done deal.
And then the council approved it today unanimously.
Oh, so it was voted today in city council.
Yes.
Okay.
And Alderman Jackson, Sandy Jackson's ward, she was in favor of it. And when it was previously announced, she was not the alderman, Bill Beavers was the alderman, and he favored it. So, and according to the testimony we had, 80-something, like 85% of the people in the ward favored it. And I presume the 15% who opposed it were the 15% of the people who lived around the building.
That's usually the way it works. That's no question.
So,
let me ask you, people keep asking me this question, and I try not to bother you with this too much. So if you want just, like a quick answer and the next topic. People keep asking me at this point, it's a little less than 2 years left in this particular term, if you're going to run again?
Well, I haven't made up my mind, quite frankly. My age, of course, is the one thing that would stop me, and then not stop me because I don't feel well about it, would stop me because I see my age as the problem for the people, not for me, because I feel fine, and my brain is fine.
I think people get wiser and smarter when they get older.
Yeah, but you see, it's obvious that my age was held against me when I ran for committeeman. People were saying, oh, he's too old for it, let somebody else take it. And I think that'll be used against me in the election. So if I can't win, why should I run? So that's part of my decision on whether I run again. My age will definitely be the primary block in whether I run again. The thing with Ira, I don't view that as a block, because I'm sure that Ira and I could reach an agreement on it. There are some things that can be resolved and some things that can't be. I don't want to run if I'm going to lose, quite frankly.
It's understandable.
And as far as doing the job, I don't think there's anybody out there right now that can do the job as well as I do. I have a good staff. The staff is well trained, and it does its job exceptionally well. The economic condition is the one thing that hurts us all right now. And what's going to be in the near future, I can't tell. What's going to happen on the federal level, I can't tell. The economic conditions are going to hurt all cities. But I got to tell you that in spite of everything you read in the newspaper, and with the mayor crying what a terrible shape we are and everything, we're probably in the best shape of any city in the United States. People forget he was incredibly smart in selling our assets, even though he was criticized for doing so. And the reason he was incredibly smart is that he sold our assets at the top of the market, got the biggest price possible, and banked most of the money. Oh. And what he did is our bond rating is so high that we're paying the lowest possible rate on our interest. We've got not millions but billions of dollars in the bank. So even though on a daily basis we're behind and we got a shortfall, overall we're in good financial condition. Yes, we have a shortfall, and the reason we have a shortfall is the money coming in is less than we need to run the city. And if we touch that money and use that to meet our shortfall, then we won't be in good condition.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. At this point, though, we're really out of time. This is 29 minutes and change already.
Okay.
So I want to thank Sonny very much. I want to thank Joe Chuckche for bringing the alderman here. Hi, Joe. And by the way, we didn't even get a chance to talk, but I want to thank Andrew Moses also.
Thank you.
We're actually going to do a commercial version of the show, so we're going to probably be on Channel 25 also. But anyway, thanks, Sonny. Thanks, Alderman. Bye, Marty. Bye, everybody.